Why, good evening, everyone. We are back once again, and my name is Nathan Wright, and I'm the Executive Director of the Etiquette Foundation of Illinois. And welcome to CAN TV 21, Let's Talk Etiquette. Wow, another 13 sessions ahead of us, and we're so excited about having this opportunity once again to talk about this grand subject. Oh, this is one of the most important subjects of all of humanity. And in fact, I can't think of a more important subject than etiquette. But I think for this first show, I want to invite all of my friends, the ones that normally listen. I hope they're there. Steve, I hope you're out there. I'd love to hear from you. And then the other person that would like to reach out to us, they can call us at 312-738-1060. So pick up the phone, call us on this grand subject called etiquette. Now, why do I say this is an important subject? In fact, it's probably the most important subject of all of humanity. And the reason for it, I want to try to give you a foundation to see why we feel at the Etiquette Foundation of Illinois, we feel so passionate about this subject. Because what really etiquette does, it allows us to correlate to each other, to be able to interact with each other, to be able to be humane towards each other, to be respectful towards each other. Etiquette gives us those skills that are so important in creating society. Actually, etiquette is at the foundation of civilization. It requires some organizing in order to create civilization. And for that to happen, we had to have a set of rules of conduct. And so like any other discipline, be it economics, be it basketball, be it whatever, that requires some cooperation with each other, you need to have a set of rules of behavior. And so society eventually figured it out. Primitive societies figured it out very early on, that if they wanted to build the great pyramids, they would have to be organized around behavior so that they can create a future for themselves and build great things and evolve society and do all the things that a great civilization can do. And so etiquette is at that foundation. That is what gives us the ability to create this great society we live in today. It's not what it was, but it can return to that. But what's missing is this set of rules of conduct, of behavior. And so long as that's not being taught in our schools, in our homes, then we're going to continue to degenerate. And you're going to see the society get even worse than you see it today. Because once humans forget about those basic rules of conduct in public, then they lack the ability to interact with one another in a civil manner. So why is it important to have civil behavior? And it's important because this is how we as a community, as a city, as a society, as a nation, agree to be able to work together under a set of rules that will allow us to build all of the things that you see. And it's because we have agreed to adhere to these rules that allows us to be able to cooperate with one another, to have a sense of purpose in the world, to understand that we are our brothers and that we can create whatever we choose to create. But we have to have cooperation based on a set of rules. These social rules are really critical because if they're not taught, then our young children and our adults, as they become adults, will begin to relate to savagery and to barbarism because that is all driven by impulse. That is why we have the kind of violence we have in our society today. simply because people miscommunicate. They don't understand each other. You send the wrong kind of message, and that leads to an argument, and that leads to violence, and that leads to death in many cases. So the reason we aren't teaching etiquette is because in the schools, it's because obviously the schools do not want our children to understand their role in society. We all have a role to play. I have a role to play. You have a role to play. Now, if we understand our role, and this should be taught from kindergarten on through 8th grade at the very least, if we understand our role in society, what we are to do to contribute in a positive way, then if we understand that and we understand the rules of the game, be it basketball, football, or tennis, or whatever, once we understand the rules of the game, then we know how we should conduct ourselves. See, it's our responsibility as individual to understand what our role is, be it in the classroom, be it on the playground, be it just simply walking down the street or at a shopping mall. We all have a role to play based on our conduct. And there's a language that goes with that. And that language may be expressed in our value system. If you are empathetic to a situation, then you have a series of words or comments that allow you to show some empathy. And there are situations and circumstances that system of communicating is important. And so if you understand, contriteness and why it is important on occasions to be contrite, so that you can communicate to your fellow person, your fellow citizen, exactly what it means to be contrite. So I have a caller. Let me go over here because I'm back and I want to make sure that I'm getting these things right so that I can connect with the caller. Let's see where it says here. Caller, okay. See if that's it. Nope. Okay. Let me try here. Nope. So I'm a little lost in terms of where I connect with the caller. Sorry about that part. So, caller, I apologize. I do not have, this is my first time back, and I'm not certain as to what I need to push. Could I,
Yes,
producer,
sir.
you can connect
Yes,
me?
sir.
Thank you.
This is Ray. I called
Ray,
almost
how are you? Sorry about that
okay.
delay, Ray.
Oh,
This
that's
is my
all
first
right.
day back, so
Yeah, you're worth it. You
go
like
right ahead, though.
talk? Yes, because you talk the way you're supposed to talk. See, kids these days, all they want to talk about is all that rap stuff. How they spell things that way. How everybody's a B and the H, and so by the time they get boom, that's all they know.
That's all they know.
And the worst part about that is some of the teachers teaching that stuff. Be proud of your heritage, and yes, be proud of your heritage. Martin Luther King Day, and that's what to be proud of, not your mom or your aunt or cousin you call a BRO. And that's why, hopefully, the mother and father can please change. And it's not only black. It's not only black.
It's all over.
It's everybody now.
Everywhere.
I'm an American. I'm a 70-year-old Vietnam vet.
Yes, sir.
And I would have never thought that this could happen. Never.
No.
And it happens every day.
Every day.
You know what? It's a shame. They don't know how much 1 and 1 is, but they know how much the ounce of gram is. Sell their dope. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
So let the parents show more love. Because if they don't show any love for the kids now, it's going to be a waste of time, and it's always going to be like it is right now.
It certainly is.
Please, parents, show some love, that you love your kids. That's what's going to change them.
That is.
Not on the outside. Inside.
That is so true, and we really appreciate you calling in and expressing
Oh,
that.
anytime, my friend. I'm so happy to see you back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Continue to
Thank
call
you,
in. Your name is
Ray.
Ray. Thank you, Ray. I really appreciate that. Ray has some excellent points there that we certainly are in support of and believe to be quite accurate and quite true. Unfortunately, Ray, we're living at a time where our public school system haven't done what they need to do to educate our young people. To me, it's not so important whether they learn math in the first grade or the second grade. It's more important to teach them how to be human. That is most important, and to teach them how to be civilized. That's most important, and how this is done through their own behavior. If we spent 2, 3, 4 years teaching them that alone, you wouldn't have the violence that you have today. And you wouldn't have the corruption, because manners and morals are key to each of our humanity. You have to have good manners to be able to be civilized, to be able to interact with anyone under any set of circumstances. And you have to be a moral character so that you will not be tempted to be corrupted. And all of the things you see that you mentioned, Ray, are things that are designed to corrupt our children, especially that so-called music called hip-hop rap. There's nothing positive about it. There's nothing endearing about it. It is really designed to take our young men in particular down a road of antisocial behavior. There's no connection to that in the real world. There are a set of rules, Ray, that you talked about, that is connected with the entire social system, not only the entire social system, but the entire social economic system. Yeah, these set of rules are connected. And if you learn these rules of behavior, how to be polite, how to be courteous, how to be considerate, what is that language about? How do you incorporate that into your behavior and into your philosophy? It has to be taught. Our children are not going to learn that on their own. They may mimic what they see others do, and this is primarily what is going on in the school. They're simply mimicking. But the logic as to why you're doing what you're doing is lost. It's like math. If you're going to teach a child why 2 plus 2 equals 4, you have to give them the logic of why 2 plus 2 equals 4. So they'll understand mathematics. But if you don't give them the logic as to why you should behave in a certain way, why you should be respectful to the elderly, why you should be willing to go out of your way to assist someone who may be in need of your assistance, why should you be that kind of human being? And the reason is because you should in a civilized society. And so now we've gone so far away from that kind of mindset that anything is possible under these set of circumstances. We don't know how to relate to each other. And see, in etiquette, you teach a child that it's not only what they say out of their mouth that's important, but their body language speaks for itself. If you have a smile on your face and you say something to just simply congratulate someone or to compliment someone on whatever, that's power. You're able to interact and connect with that person because you said something polite or you said something complimentary to that person. We like to be recognized as human beings who are contributing to the society we live in. Now, why is it so important for this? Because if we are to build a great society or return to building a great society, we have to be willing to understand our role in that society. Okay? If you don't understand your role and your place, then it's very, very difficult for you to contribute. Now, I'll give you an example. Okay, basketball is something real simple, right? We have 5 people on the court, and each one has a role to play. Okay, some roles that require you to be more defensive. Some roles require you to be more of a player, a person who scores the ball. But each person has a specific role to play. And in society, it's the same thing. If you need bread to eat, you need a baker or someone to cook and prepare that bread. The baker needs someone to repair his electrical systems in his bakery. If you're an electrician, then you would then repair his electrical needs. Or if his plumbing is a problem, your role is to be a repair of plumbing. So what are we doing? We're all working together to enhance and better our lives as a society, as a community. Once you understand your role, whatever that be as a child, you would take that role and develop it into whatever profession you choose to go into. And so each of those professions relate to the entire society. Be you want to be a lawyer or a healthcare specialist or a doctor, your role is to contribute to the betterment of the whole of society. We need each other. This is what society is. We are dependent on each other. And we have to have a language that allows for us to communicate in a civil manner. And that's what's missing in our schools and in our homes. Now, this season here, we're going to talk about so many different aspects of that. Why it's not in the schools, and encourage you parents to insist that etiquette is taught in the schools. We're going to talk about parenting and why it's important. We have a caller. Caller, you on the air.
Well, Mr. Wright, I'm so glad to see you again.
Steve, hello there, Steve. Good to hear from you. I was telling one of my mentees that I hope that you call today.
Well, I looked today and I saw you was on. I knew I was going to be here.
Great.
But I like to listen sometimes. Sometimes people just talk but don't never listen. So sometimes it's very good to listen to some things, especially you say. Two things I want to comment on real quick.
Yes.
Again, at the house, how many people say good morning to you in the house? How many people say good night to you in the house? How many people say, how was school today? What did you do? Things like that, nation, is a beginning to something.
Yes.
Now, you just gave an analogy of the bread. Sure. It takes the baker. It takes the machinist. But most important, it takes the seed to grow the wheat so we can have bread.
Right.
So again, there's a process in everything we do in life.
Yes.
If you taught in the house to act a fool, well, trust me, that's what you're going to end up being, a fool.
Yes.
But again, I'm a believer. Anyone and everyone could change. And some of these people running around and crazy and talking, they want to change, but they're too scared to say, let me try to do this instead of doing what everybody else is doing.
Right.
So again, only thing we need to do is just keep on trying. Mr. Wright, I've been telling you this for years.
Yes.
If you help one, you did God's work.
You did. You are.
You know, it ain't the idea that you're going to help anyone, but you could plant that, what's that word? Seed. In somebody's head, and maybe that bread might grow.
Absolutely.
That's right. You know, it's so wonderful to see you again.
Hey, I'm glad you're calling in. I'm glad to be back with you. You were certainly one of our favorites. And hopefully this time we'll get together and have lunch or something. So
we are. That I promise you. That we will do.
Away, and so we can't be able to do that.
Right,
so
right.
Please continue to watch us, Steve. We need your comments.
You know, I'm going to be
validate
looking.
What I'm saying.
Right. Hey, listen, let me get out there so I can hear your response. Maybe somebody else could call so I can learn a little bit more. But thank you so much for coming back.
Yes,
you have a great night and a safe night.
Thank you. Well, we consider Steve to be one of our scholars. I mean, on this subject. He has a keen understanding of this subject, and he's a patriot of this subject. And just like he commented about, it may sound simple, but it is extremely important to have love in your home, to have that camaraderie where you all respect each other and celebrate each other. And saying good morning is a way of celebrating your relationship with this other person. So, thank you, Steve, for calling and continue to call in. I think I got the 5-minute warning, so I know I'm getting close to concluding the show out. So we're going to have subjects that are wide-ranging on this subject because we believe that etiquette is the center of humanity. And if we want to continue to be a civilized people, we need to use this age-old, time-tested system of social conduct. And if we learn it, it's not that difficult, and if we practice it, you would be amazed at what we can change in this society. We can reduce the degeneracy we're witnessing on our TVs and on these cell phones. And we can reduce all of these things because they would not have any demand, any following. Because you will know that they are counterproductive to your children, your family, and to the future of this country. We're really at a turning point. And so to conclude, thank you so much. You can reach out to me at this number here, and we'll look forward to talking to you in the future. Let's see, which one do I go to? I'm going to have to learn this system over again, that's for certain. Let's see, which one here do I go to? Not that one. Oh, there. So then I have to learn to zoom out. Ooh, that's good enough. So now you can see how to contact us. Is the Etiquette Foundation of Illinois. Let's Talk Etiquette. Contact EFOI 312-473-2942. Our email webpage is right below there, info@efoi.org. So I want to conclude there, thanking you for tuning us in. Thanking you again, Steve. It was a delight to be back for the first time. I'm a little rusty, as you can tell, but I guarantee you and I assure you that on the next coming shows, I will be as sharp as ever. Okay? Thank you so much, and continue to have a good evening.